Welcome to an exciting edition of Hidden in Universal Vault. I'm Ryan, your host, and now we're back to the swing of things after taking a couple days off. So I thought let's take a look at the next film. Now I'm going to be doing this different because the next movie I'm taking a look at is actually an anthology film. This is an anthology film directed by Joe Dante, Carl Gottlieb, Peter Horton, John Landis, and Robert Weiss, 1987's Amazon Women on the Moon. Yes, I'm taking a look at the anthology film Amazon Women on the Moon. Now, this is going to be a lot different because I'm going to be talking about the different segments. And the different segments will ultimately come to whether I can recommend the film or not. So, it says it right here. It was produced by Robert K. Weiss, and it stars lots of actors. So let's run down the segments in this. So I'll go ahead and put that right there. So yeah, right there. Here we go. So yeah, Amazon Women on the Moon. Let me see if I can move that a bit closer. Sorry if the glare is like not even right on this. Give me 1 second. That looks about right. Okay, so let's talk about the segments. Segment 1 is the opening segment, which is Mondo Condo. And this stars Arsenio Hall. He plays a man who goes inside an apartment, but basically the apartment is filled with mechanisms and contraptions. So he's driving, then he parks his car, walks in there. Soon as he knows he walks into there, the phone rings, and he picks up, he says, "I'm sorry, you got the wrong number." "There is no Thelma." So he hangs it up. All of a sudden, all the contraptions tries to want to kill him or ruin his day. So like he'll start messing with he'll start opening a can of beer and all the sides with his face. All of a sudden, he'll get like electrocuted by some and his hair goes wacky. Then he gets his tie caught into the blade of the garbage disposal. Then he tries to put a VHS in a VCR and he gets smacked right in the face. Then all of a sudden that same number, that same person calls, and keeps calling him, and he hangs up, he gets hurt, and just shenanigans ensue. Essentially, imagine if this was like Home Alone before Home Alone. It's great, and the funny segments. So segment number 1 is great. Segment 2 is Penthouse Video, and that's probably where it really goes downhill. Basically, this movie is an R-rated film, so this movie is not for kids. There is a few segments that has nudity. So basically, the trailer shows a woman in lingerie, but basically it focuses on a woman who she's totally fully naked, and she'll go out around naked. She'll go to the church nude. She'll do everything nude. I mean totally nude. And nobody knows about it. Not much to say about that. That's really what the joke is. And it gets really old very fast. So that's segment number 2. So that one wasn't good. I'm going to run through these really quick round robin style. Murray and Videoland. I forgot to mention. Penthouse Video has Monica Gabrielle and Donald F. Merchant. I'm probably butchering that name. But anyways, Murray Videoland has Lou Jacob, Erica Yon, Debbie Davidsonville, I can't pronounce that name, Rob K, we'll say Rob K. Phil Hartman plays the baseball announcer, though I didn't recognize his voice, and Corey Burton plays Anchorman. Basically, it focuses on an elderly couple, they're watching TV, the guy clicks, and he gets zapped into the television. So he goes into different parts. He'll be like at a sports. He'll be at a baseball game. He'll be in Leave It to Beaver, Universal reference, and he'll be in like a cartoon. And his wife doesn't really know about. So he's stuck in there. And the running joke with this guy goes throughout the segments. So different parallels of each segment. So that's that segment. Segment number 3, Hospital. Michelle Pfeiffer, Peter Horton, and Griffin Dunne. basically focus on Michelle Pfeiffer and Peter Horton. They're a married couple that they're at the hospital and they're getting ready. They're both getting ready to become parents, but Griffin Dunn plays this joke like that. Yes, the baby's been delivered. Though this one's also directed by. So Landis directed the first segment. Carl Gottlieb directed that segment, and Robert K. Weiss directed the Murray and Videoland. This segment was directed by Landis, and it actually reunites Landis with Griffin Dunn since American Werewolf in London. Yeah, since that. And that's also a Universal film as well. So, Peter Horton, who appears in this one, also directs a few of the other segments in it. He's one of the other directors. Well, basically, the run joke is, it's basically he has the baby, they think it's the baby, but turns out it's actually a hand that has, like, lipstick and that stuff. So, it's really dry. It's more of a dark comedy than it is a sort of anthology. So I'm going to round, like I said again, not really much. Joe Dante's segment, Heirloom. Joe Pantoliano is in this. He plays sort of the guy. This is where we go to the first of the commercials in it. Basically, the movies have watched through science fiction and channel surfing when that was big. Oh, I forgot to mention Murray and Videoland. He gets sucked into Ronald Reagan walking down Air Force One. Yeah, President Reagan's Air Force One. So, and the Secret Service guys take him away. So, that was that. So, back to what I said about Heirloom. Joe Pantoliano plays a guy who's an infomercial guy talking about how you can grow hair, and then they give you all that. Kind of like those old infomercials, like call this toll-free number, that kind of thing. It's kind of really hard to talk about a film that's an anthology than just a standard movie. But anyways, now we come to the meat of this. And this is kind of where I thought this was cool. They used the Universal International's logo for this segment, Amazon Women on the Moon. Now, there are 3 parts to this. They kind of loop around. You get your segments, and then you get the main meat of it though. So we get this cool opening. It's almost like it's basically poking fun at like the science fiction films that Universal would make back in the 50s, like This Island Earth and like Tentacles, Tarantula, all those like B-movie sci-fi films. It Came from Outer Space, that kind of stuff. But basically in this segment we got Corey Burton, Steve Forster, Robert Carbon, Joey Travolta, and Sybil Danning in this one. So basically, there follows these sort of scientists that get into this planet, sort of like this planet that go by that's filled with these like women. They're Amazon women on the moon. So basically they're stuck in there. I'll get more into that when I get into the other segments. So I like the film grain. This is probably the coolest thing in the entire movie. So it's like film grain, but it messes with the film. It's really cool. If you're a big fan of if you're a big fan of movies shot on film, this is a pretty cool one. So I'm not going to number them. I don't know why I'm doing this, but this is probably my second favorite part in the movie, and it's called Blacks Without Soul. This might actually be the first appearance or the first movie to star David Alan Grier. Yeah, the funny David Alan Grier. And honestly, this is probably the best one. He joins alongside B.B. King. Yeah, also with the late rock jazz singer B.B. King. So basically, he's like a guy that does, again, this whole infomercial, but it's poking fun at those old love songs. So B.B. King is a guy, he's like, we have like no soul or something. And then he give you a dress. So he'll be like on the piano playing Chim Chimney from Mary Poppins in there. It's really genius. So he'll sing all these like love songs. Like he'll sing Que Sera Sera, the Doris Day song. So that made me laugh. That is probably the funniest thing. David Alan Grier almost is probably the best actor. Well, the best part of this anthology film. So we get the next one. This time we get Blacks Without Souls is John Landis directed that. Now we get Peter Horton's directing his segment he directed. Two IDs. Rosanna Arquette and Steven Guttenberg, they play this married couple. Well, he plays a guy that goes in and wants to date this woman. Basically, they're Karen and Jerry. So basically, they meet each other. They want to have a romance. They want to go on a date. So eventually he leaves, goes into the phone booth, and ends that segment. This is also the other one. This is Bullshit or Not, which is a reference to the TV series Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Jack Palance version, not the Dean Cain version. But basically it focused on whether it's bullshit or not. Basically, imagine if Jack the Ripper was a Loch Ness Monster. So that's really what this segment is about. It's really hard for me to talk about what it is without giving my thoughts on it. So that's that segment. So the woman meets Jack the Ripper, who actually is a Loch Ness Monster. Harry Sullivan is the plays himself though, and Sarah Lilly is the girl that meets the Loch Ness Monster crossed with Jack the Ripper, which I think is really cool. I think the design on that creature is really good. So that's top notch. Now we come to probably the one I really think is the more creative. Critics Corner, which is an homage to Siskel and Ebert. Yes, they do an homage to Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert's show, which I think is really cool. Basically, they poke fun in the 1980s at the movies from like 1983, when it was just called At the Movies and not Siskel and Ebert. So they basically, these two critics, they're played by not even actors, they're radio people. They were actually radio people. I do believe it's Roger Berkeley and Al Lohman. Archie Hand and Brenda Baskin is in this. So focus on a man named Harvey Pinkerton. He's watching, and these critics are reviewing real life things and real life situations and that kind of things. But they're reviewing this guy who he's about ready to die, and turns out he does die. But that goes into the next segment that I'm going to talk about. Before we get to this one, this is Sally Petite, I think it is. It's Silly Petite. It's a parody of Silly Putties. The ones that they put on there. So this one has Corey Burton, T.K. Carter, and Iron Newborn. So basically, it pokes fun at Silly Putties, but basically you can eat these, which is actually pretty disgusting, to be honest. I thought that was more gross than funny, in my opinion. First of all, I know Silly Putties, and I don't really like Silly Putties, in my opinion. I think they're just too gross. But yeah, that's that segment. I can't recommend that one. If you don't want to be disgusted, don't watch that segment. Now we come back to Harvey Pinkerton and Beatrice Pinkerton in the next segment, Roast Your Loved Ones. This is an homage to the Dean Martin's comedy roast. So let's run down that. The two I said before that come back in this, oddly enough, we actually get Bryan Cranston, but only in a deleted scene. So young Bryan Cranston, yes, before Breaking Bad, he was in this. So that's kind of cool. Robert Picardo from Voyager is in this. He plays Rick Radens, and he's the guy. Now we get to the people that play themselves. I'll run that down for you. We get Rip Taylor, Slappy White, Jackie Vernon, Harry Youngman, Charlie Clarence, Charlie Caddis, and Steve Allen. So Steve Allen plays the host of it. So we're introduced to all these comedy legends, and like Slappy White, who was a stand-up comedian that did a lot of stand-up for Red Fox. Jackie Vernon, you probably recognize him as the voice of Frosty the Snowman in the original 1960s Rankin Bass classic. So he's in it. Harry Youngman and Charlie Caddis, who worked with Jerry Lewis. Oddly enough, he would work with Disney in one film. So that's pretty cool. I'm like, really? I did not even know that. But they all played themselves. They played the guys on the stage roasting. It's cool to see Steve Allen. And actually, I think this is a pretty cool one just because it's creative. Rip Taylor alone, if you watch MTV, if you watch the Jackass movies that MTV made, you probably know who Rip Taylor is. He's the guy that throws a confetti. If you watch all 3 Jackass movies, that's Rip Taylor. Very funny guy. I think he's probably the best part. I'll show in the back. That's Rip Taylor right there, if you're not familiar. And I think that's Steve Allen. So yeah, that's that segment. So this is probably one I think is probably the more creative. Next one is Video Pirates. This one has King of Cartoons William Marshall. Yeah, Blackula's in this. So basically he plays the captain. It's basically sort of poking fun at Treasure Island, I think. But you got these pirates that are trying to raid, get this, an MCA home video pirate ship. That is just so cool. This movie basically essentially is poking fun at Universal stuff. The distributor was, like I said, Universal. They made this. So the cool thing it is, they poke fun at their own studio. We got to hunt down the Universal MCA, the MCA home video ship to look for treasure. And it turns out they get on the ship. You can actually poster it out of Africa. You can see a poster to Back to the Future, Mask. So they find all these VHSs, and it's just super crazy. This movie makes fun of Universal, even though it was made by Universal. That's what I think. And I think Video Pirates not only creative, but fun at times. So this one is interesting. I'm not going to say all the directors' names. This video would be way too long. So now we come to Son of the Invisible Man, which is a parody of The Invisible Man. So anyways, we got Ed Begley Jr. as Griffin. So we got Chuck LaFord, Pamela Vida, Larry Hankin. If you're familiar with Billy Madison, he portrayed Carl on Billy Madison. I'm sitting there like, oh hey, it's Carl from Billy Madison. I'm like, Carl's in this movie. He has a small role. And Gary Goodrow. Basically, it's poking fun at the Invisible Man. But turns out he's not invisible. He's just some guy running down the streets naked. So basically I think he's invisible, but none of the people in the towns know he's invisible. It's a parody of Son of the Invisible Man. I think, or the Invisible Man's son. It's a parody of the Invisible Man, which I think is really cool. Somebody who liked the Invisible Man, really, that's really cool for them to do Universal Monster. But that's all I'm going to say. So we're trying to hurry this up, guys. I'm trying to hurry this up, but anyways. So yeah, I'll try my best. Art Sale. Basically, this one has John Ingram. He plays an art salesman who basically sells a bunch of art. He's doing a closing down, liquidation, going out of sale to the point of not only selling artifacts, but even selling the Declaration of Independence, which I thought was really fun. And you can even write your name on it. I thought it was like the funniest thing. Sell Van Gogh painting, they're selling everything. Going out of sale. That's that one. So that's the segment. That one's kind of cool. First Lady of the Evening. Oh, did I mention eventually goes back to the Amazon Women of the Moon. So they go back and they're on the planet now. They meet, like I said, they meet Sybil Danning. And then that cuts into the next one, which is First Lady of the Evening. Angel Tompkin and Terry McGovern, who, I didn't even know this, will go on to voice Lunchpad McQuack from TV's DuckTales. I didn't even know that. So First Lady of the Evening, focus on the woman. She's like the First Lady, but she's like this babe. I really hate to bring politics, but essentially she's basically the Melania Trump before Melania Trump. She's like this First Lady, she's like a babe. Again, like I said before, it's the Melania Trump before Melania Trump. So I kind of wanted to bring that up. That's really what this segment is. So she's dating and kissing another person, and that's that one. Titan Man. This one deals with a kid who wants to buy condoms. I'll run down the cast in this one because I think it's cool. Matt Adler, Kelly Preston, Ralph Bellamy, Howard Hessman, and Steve Cooper. So basically, he runs in there. He meets up with Ralph Bellamy, who's the pharmacist, though. He's like the pharmacist that meets him. Is like, I want to buy Titans. No, son, you gotta speak up. He wants toothpaste at first. He's like, I want to buy Titans. You gotta speak up, son. I want to buy Titans, and the whole people know. So he goes and buys them. He's a 100 customer. Out pops Howard Hessman, who's basically, I should say out comes Howard Hessman, who's the owner, greeting the kid, and really, it's crazy. It's hard for me to explain, but it ends with him getting his face on the billboard, and that's that segment. Now we come to a couple of them, and there are two deleted segments. So we're coming to the final segment in this movie before we get to the post-credit segment, and that's Video Day. Russ Meyer, who was good buddies with, like I said, the late Roger Ebert. So Russ Meyer plays the video salesman. This also has Mark McCrew, and oddly enough, stand-up comedian Andrew Dice Clay is in this movie. I didn't even think Andrew Dice Clay was even in it. But anyways, he plays Ray, who decides he's at the video store looking for a movie to rent. Russ Myers plays the video salesman, the cult director Russ Myers, who directed Valley of the Dolls. But anyways, he plays the salesman who's like, psst, psst, hey kid, come over here. You looking for a video? You looking for a video? I got something for you. And then his name is Ray. So he makes popcorn and gets a soda out, sets it up, puts the tape in there. Turns out there's actually I think a stripper, I think, but she's like in a nightgown. So she comes into there walking along. It's like almost like one of those like tutorial videos. So she's topless. Out pops Andrew Dice Clay, and all of a sudden, craziness happens. So it turns out he shoots her. Dice Clay shoots himself. Ray gets arrested by the cops, not knowing that. Thus end the film. Then we go back to Alan Greer in the post-credits in the mariachi band outfit, just dancing and having a good old time. So that's the post-credits. So about the Amazon Women on the Moon stuff, they get off the planet, and that ends that segment. So actually that would be before Video Date. So they get off the planet, and basically the woman doesn't know what the kiss was. So he kisses her. They fly off the ship. Ends the film that way. So that's that. So we get to the credits. Now we get to the guy that's in the TV, and he's still not out. So we get David Allen Career rocking the mariachi outfit. So yeah, that's that. So now we come to the post credits, and I'll talk a little bit real quick about the two delete segments. Reckless Youth is Carrie Fisher. She plays a woman. It's pocket film noir. So she's there, and she meets up with a guy. That ends that. There's not much to say about this. So, yeah. And then the deleted segments, which is Unknown Soldier and Peter Pan Theater. Which I will say, I like Peter Pan Theater more than Unknown Soldier. Unknown Soldier focus on these sergeants that they're trying to pick who will be the unknown soldier. So it turns out the unknown soldier is going to be this kid. They celebrate it, and they talk more about the unknown soldier. That ends that segment. That one had Robert Logan and Bernie Casey, along with Ronnie Cox, in that segment. So, Peter Pan Theater, Jenny Argenton plays Cleopatra in this one. So, and Ry Barkin. So basically, it focused, like I said, on the reviews and sort of like a TV spot, but infomercial, that kind of thing. Think more TV spot. Wow, that's a lot to talk about with an anthology film. So there are 21 segments in this. And honestly, I think there are 21. Maybe I could be wrong. 21 comedy segments. That was my big problem with Amazon Women on the Moon. Once you watch these, it's just a boring comedy. I always remember the Arsenio Hall segment as a kid. I actually had this on recorded VHS. I wasn't allowed to watch the movie. Only that segment I was allowed to watch as a kid, over and over again. I don't know. So the best segment my two favorite segment is probably the stuff with David Alan Grier's character. He goes by the name of No Soul, I think it is. Let me go back. Yeah, Don No Soul Simmons. Yes, Blacks Without Souls. That's come dead second. I think the Arsenio Hall and Blacks Without Soul are funny just because hearing David Alan Grier just do the comedy, and I love David Alan Grier. I did cover his cameo in Adventures of Rock. I did cover his cameo in The Adventures of Rocky Bullwinkle from 2000. So I did cover that movie. He was in that as well. But he is absolutely insane. Was this his first movie, I wonder? I'm just seeing. Hang on a sec. No, I was wrong. Amazon Women from the Moon was his fifth movie. I was wrong. That was actually his fifth movie, but it felt like his first. But yeah, David Alan Grier, talk about a funny man. There's a guy that can do comedy pre In Living Color, but he's still funny. He's probably my favorite part in this. I will say the weakest parts are probably stuff with the nudity. I felt the one that kind of got to me was Penthouse Video. The joke got super old. And that's the biggest problem with these movies. I'd probably say that and probably The Hospital. It was great to see Michelle Pfeiffer, Pete Horton, and Griffin Dunne acting together in this. But it just, I didn't laugh. I think that was the big problem, went downhill. I thought, oh, well, maybe this is going to be like an insane spoof on 50s and channel surfing. That's what they were trying to go towards. But unfortunately, Amazon Women on the Moon just fails in that way. The problem was, I will say the best director of all of them was Joe Dante. Half the other directors, aside from Landis, it just didn't work. This doesn't work as a spoof film nor comedy. Nothing was funny. But on the plus side, because of David Alan Grier in this movie, and because this stuff is absolutely bat-crap crazy, I'm still going to recommend this movie with a reservation. So I'm just going to let you know, this movie is not for everybody. It was not for me. But because of David Alan Grier ultimately got me to keep this. And I could just go to those moments if I decide to rewatch this again in my own time. So I'll keep going back to Arsenio Hall and the David Alan Grier stuff. He even sings at the post-credits with the mariachi outfit. So the biggest negative is the segments. They don't really work for me. I was so disappointed. I would qualify this movie more as a disappointment. But this is probably in this way. Had David Alan Grier not in this movie, I probably would not keep this. Like I said again, it was an okay watch. I don't see myself go back and watch this again. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Did I enjoy it? Not really. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cover. I do like this cover. The lead scenes were nice in addition to having the two segments. This is pretty nice artwork. I do like the artwork. There's the Invisible Man. And that's David Alan Grier with the mariachi outfit. I love it. It reminds me of Mike Myers with the coconut bra and mariachi outfit. Kind of reminded me of that. So in terms of that, I said before, it says deleted scenes. This also says outtakes and a trailer. I did watch the trailer. There's a recommendation section, but no additional trailers there. Just a plain white, not really much. Haven't shown these in a while, but I decided to show it anyways. You just get a white disc with the title. Kind of was hoping for more discard. But anyways. So yeah, I think I mentioned everything. I don't think I forgot anything. I don't think I forgot anything in this though. So yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, the two positives I can easily recommend are Arsenio Hall segment, the very beginning, which made me crack up laughing so hard just because it felt like the contraptions in Home Alone, and David Alan Grier just singing these love songs like Shim Shimmery and Que Sera Sera. Just classic stuff. I laughed so hard. I wish the movie just was more about him because he really saved the movie. So anyways, I think I'm going to stop there. So, final verdict. Should you see Amazon Women on the Moon? And my answer probably is no. I can't recommend this movie for anybody. Actually, I take that back. I am going to recommend this as a cautionary tale on how not to do a spoof film. This is probably not a very good movie. It's not a very good spoof film. I'm going to recommend it. If you just want to watch the Arsenio Hall clip, it's probably available on YouTube. You best bet. Was I bored with the movie? Some stuff, yes. I thought it got very boring. Some of the stuff I got bored, but for the most part, it's just a mediocre anthology film that I thought was going to be flat out funny, but it just ended up being a not very good movie. I like how on the back it says, starring lots of other actors. That I do like. Robert K. Weiss produced it. It's such a shame with a big cast like that. You even had themselves, like, you had Rip Taylor in that. Rip Taylor is always funny. His usual throw the confetti, throw the confetti. I just don't know. Something about this. I will easily say it's a very creative one. Oh, Via Pirates was the other one I forgot to mention. That one was really cool because if you're a Universal junkie like I am, this is a really cool reference. I like that stuff. But it just got really old very, very fast. And I just, like I said, I can kind of recommend if you just want to watch those scenes. But as a movie, I just can't really recommend it. Like I said, it's not for everybody. Some of you guys might like this movie, others may not. So, I'm rambling. I don't want this video to take too long. So, yeah, I guess watch it as I guess be cautious if you do decide to watch this movie. But for a me factor, I'd probably say no. But that's drawing the line. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my movie of Amazon Women on the Moon. If you like what you see on the channel, stop by the channel. I have plenty other reviews. I have plenty movie reviews. I got lots of stuff on there that tons of reviews, tons of stuff. So I'm gonna call it a night. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff that YouTube likes you to do. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.